Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Workana again, and now today we are going to talk about SPSS in practice. Actually, this specific portion of this course will be discussed in person in our class. We'll talk on them in person. But here also on this video record, I'm going to talk about SPSS, how we can open it, and how we can do some kind of operation in SPSS. So let's ask you some basic question as usual. What is SPSS? For what purpose I use it? What are the jobs that I can do with SPSS? For example, what? So there are a lot that we can do by using SPSS. We will discuss them in detail in this course in generally in this chapter, some of them. Okay, let's start. Before I start my discussion, let me share you my PowerPoint and let's discuss on PowerPoint. Then so we go to the practice part when it asks me to do so. The basics of SPSS software. SPSS software help you to deal with quantitative data in descriptive and explanatory researches. It helps you to prepare frequency table, cross tabulation table. It helps you to draw graphs. It may be bar chart. It may be line graph. It may be pie charts. It may be box plot. It may be scatter diagram, or it may be histogram. Whatever it is, SPSS can do that. Computing measure of central tendency like mean, median, mode, or those things. Don't worry, SPSS can do it for you. Measure of dispersion, range, variance, standard deviation, coefficient variation, z-score, whatever they are, SPSS can calculate it. To carry out correlation analysis, if you want to see the correlation between two variables, you don't need to analyze it by yourself. SPSS can do it for you. To carry out parametric and non-parametric test hypothesis, we will see about these things in chapter 2, parametric and non-parametric hypothesis testing. SPSS can do it for us. Conducting regression analysis, all these activity are that activity that can be done by SPSS. Now let's see how to open SPSS. In order to open SPSS on your computer, there are two ways that you can do so. One, Windows Start menu, click on Windows Start menu and write SPSS and click on that. Or double click on SPSS icon on your desktops. And now let's open it. Like this is my SPSS. Unfortunately, if I want, I can write SPSS like this. If you don't have SPSS from here as an icon, just you can write SPSS on your start here on these places and then click on it. Then it's coming. It take little time depending on your computer. It may take a little time, but my computer is relatively good, and so I think it will be open soon. So until it comes, let's continue our discussions. So you can open SPSS in these ways. Is coming, and then there are overview of SPSS for Windows, the data editor and the output viewer window. It's coming. This is SPSS. So this is data editor window. The name of this window is named as data editor. As you read from here, it is a data editor window. And I talk here the overview of SPSS for Windows. It has two windows, data editor window and output viewer window. The data editor window is a window that is open at startup and is used to enter and store data in a spreadsheet format. When you click, the first SPSS page you see is called as data editor window. It is a place where you can insert, it is a place your data, and it is a place where you can store it. Actually, that places store your data in a spreadsheet format, and you have also a list of variables with their characteristics. That window is called as data editor window. Another window is named as output viewer window. Open automatically when you execute an analysis or create a graph using a dialog boxes to execute a procedures. It contains the result of all statistical analysis and a graphical display of data. Output viewer window is the window that you get when you execute some order. Execute means like you order it. For example, if you ask SPSS to draw graph, then the graph will come in output viewer window. It's not in the data editor window. Rather, it come in output viewer window. So that the output of SPSS actually displayed separately in new window, and that window is called as output viewer window. So entering data in SPSS. The data editor window has two sheets. One sheet is named as data view and another sheet is named as variable views. Let's show you that windows or sheet. It has two sheets as you see here. One is data view sheet, the other one is variable view sheet. What is the advantage of each of them? Variable view sheet, you enter your variable here. The first task you do before you start entering data, first of all you need to write your variables. When you write your variable, this is variable name, this is the type of the variable, here is the weeds, that means the number of the digits that your raw data should have. Maybe if you believe that your data has 2 digits, then you can make this weeds as 2. If you believe that your data may have 3 digits like 100, from 100 to 999, there are 3 in number, right? It has 3 digits. 3 digits. And if you believe that your data may have 3 digits, then you can make this one 3. By the way, to do that, you just click here and you can increase like if you want the numbers. Of course, first of all, I need to create the variables. Maybe I can create a variable name, like for example, variable name. Working is not a variable, it is human. Whatever, it's okay to say working as a variables, but let's say price and price of what? Price of food. And if I want to say price of food, I don't need to put or like click on space. No space when you write variable name. It should be one word. It should be. You can connect like this, price of food. I can understand what it's this one, but there is no spaces between price and food. Then price of food, and then what type of variable it is, the type of variable. Is it numeric? Is it common? Is it dot? Is it customer currency? Is it what type of value it is? More probably price is in dollars, so I can say dollar. So this one is good, right? Not custom. Is it dollars? For example, dollar is here. I can put like this dollar. Then what is the digit? How many? Maybe the price of food. The maximum one is nowadays, food become very expensive. Like 3 digits is common, 4 digits is not common, right? 4 in thousands, 4 digits. But there is some places that you need to pay more than 1,000 to eat some food, but it depends on the places. Like for example, if you go to Sheraton, it's more probable that you eat lunch by a price which is more than 1,000 birr. Maybe I can make this one 2 digits. I can write it from my keyboard if I want. If you want, you can use these things like this. And the decimal places, then after this thing, this is normal leading numbers. What about the decimal places? Do you have any decimal places? What about label? Now here it is the price of food, but I need to write it in one word. I need to make it as short and very descriptive as possible. Here I can write the full name. I can use even spaces. Price of foods. I can do like this. Price of foods. Then if it is continuous, there is no values, but if there is not continuous, if it is not continuous, then if there is some kind of code, for example, gender, like gender of our students, then there are 2 codes, categorical in nature. If your data, for example, let's make this one as gender, not because the price of food is continuous, so I don't need to have some kind of value here. There is no code. This is the place where you enter a code. But for the price of food, there is no code. It is a continuous variable. So if you believe that there is a missing point in your data sets as well, you can write that missing code. You can give a kind of values, no missing values, or you can leave like this. Or if you want to give, for example, if your data set, if you see in your data set a missing values, you can ask SPSS to write like 99 or 99 as in the place of the missing points. You can do like that if you want, or you can leave it as it is. Then in SPSS, if there is missing, then SPSS actually understand as a kind of dots. If you see in the data views, in data view window, if you see some kind of dots in these places, that means that value is missed. It is missing. And then there is a columns, there is alignments, and then if this one is very important, you need to tell us what type of scale of measurement that specific variable is. As I told you, when we talk about scale of measurement, one of the reasons that we need to know scale of measurement is because SPSS asks us to indicate what type of scale of measurement our variable is, isn't it? So our variable can be, in this context, it is a scale. What about gender, for example? Gender, I am just creating a list of variables. Not then, once I do these things, I will go to gender, no need of writing space, gender. Then you need to leave it like this. Then if you put a space, like for example, gender, like if I put right or I just insert space like this, then SPSS will not accept it. There is no spaces in the variable name. This column is named as variable name, and in that places there is no spaces. You don't need to put space. If you put, SPSS will not accept it. So you have to cancel or delete that spaces, and then I can go to the next. Type of variable, gender is categorical in nature, so which one is good for that? And common dots, scientific notation, date, dollar, strings, so comma. By the way, string is if your data is a kind of letter, for example, if you have name of the institution and if you want to write as it is rather than coding it, you have to say string. So that your variable in nature is a string, you don't need to write numeric, rather you can write some letter, and SPSS can accept it, but it will not be used for analysis purpose. But you can make it, you know what the nominal variable is. There you can calculate, you can get the frequency, you can get the percent frequency. That is all. So in this case, gender is like I have some kind of number for that. I have code, male is 1, female is 0, so that is numeric. So numeric is appropriate. Then the width is digits before decimal places, the number of digits before decimal places. Gender 1 and 0, it must be 1 in that context. So this is 1. You can put it like this. Next. Now this must be 0, right? The number of the decimal places is too large for the field to the width. This must be greater than this. Therefore, first let's make this one 0, and then this one 1. I can do like that. Then I can write gender of our students like this. Gender of our students. Yeah, gender of, I can put a space, I can use a capital letter, whatever it is, as usual. This is just is okay. Then now I want to tell you how you code. 0 is, let's say, for male. Then you need to write the value, you need to write the label, and you need to click on add. Then 1 for female. 1 is for female. Then you need to say add. Then okay. So you did it. You code it, your variables. So now missing value distinguish what type of variable it is. Gender, is it ordinal or nominal? I hope you know it. It is nominal. There is no way that I can order. And then now this is the place where I can write my variable name and its characteristics. It is not a place where I can write the data as it is, the raw data. In order to insert raw data, I need to go to data views. You see, price of food is here, gender is here, number of respondents, these are number of respondents. What is the price of food for respondent number 1? It may be 50. What about gender of that person? He is like that, female. What about this is 500? What is his gender? Let's say 0. He is male in this context. Well, you thought that you are going to, this is for respondent number 1. There are 2 variables. The questionnaire has only 2 questions, so that you are going to write the list of the question here. You need to make it very short. Like for example, for name there is no spaces, and then if you want to write the detail or fully that variables, you can use it the label column. And if it has some kind of code, if it is not continuous, rather it is categorical variable, you need to give the code here. The code, the value of the code and the label, and then add until you finish or you complete your codes. This is how you enter the data in SPSS. So data views and variable view. Data view is a view, it is the place or the sheets that help you to write the name of the variable and its characteristics. Variable view is the place where you insert the variables, and so that you need to know these sheets briefly. So that's in picture, variable view is this one. It is the place where you write the name of the variable, the type of the variable, the width of the variable, the whether it is decimal place, and all this information. And the next one is the picture for data view sheets. Here it is the place where you can see your data if you have already inserted it, or it is the place where you can write or insert the data directly into SPSS. Data can be entered on Excel from Excel and then imported into SPSS. The way we enter the data or import the data are 2 in number. One is you can write your data on Excel sheet, and then you can import it to your SPSS or enter directly on SPSS spreadsheets or the data view sheets as I have shown you now. So you can do, or you can use the easier ways in order to enter or in order to import the data into your SPSS. Now let's see how you can do, or you can insert the data from Excel sheet to your SPSS. First of all, you need to write the variable names in rows across column, right? For example, this is gender, birth date, education, job type, salaries, salary beginning, job times, previous experience, and mind. These are the variable I have, so that I need to write them on the horizontal like this across the columns. Then what I do, then I need to, in order to before I just import it, the data that I have saved on an Excel sheet, first of all, I need to copy my variable name, and then I need to paste it like this in the column. This is called as paste it with transpose. Where is transpose? It is here. Right click here, and then special pastes. For example, let's show you Excel sheet. This is in case if you inserted your data, or if your data that is actually inserted in SPSS, and if you want to take it that things to the SPSS, then you need to know this procedure. Let's say this is variable names. Let's say here, so female, gender. Let's say gender, education. Then let's say experience, let's say job type. So you don't need to look when you write your variable name, even on Excel sheet. If you put some kind of a space, then you cannot copy that things into SPSS, because the variable name on SPSS should be written without a space. So far, actually, I write it, all of them with space. Therefore, I need to check it. So you see, I need to make like this. Then let's go to the education part. I need to click and make sure that there is no spaces at the end of each word. Otherwise, SPSS will not accept it. So this is my variable names. I need to copy them. I need to copy it. Now, first of all, because in SPSS, the variable is actually written in one column, right? Across different rows. Here on Excel sheet, the variable actually written in one rows across different columns. Therefore, I need to transfer. I need to make suitable for SPSS. So right click on it. Right click special pastes. You need to click on this one, and you need to click transpose. It is here. Then you need to paste it. You see, it must be pasted here. This one. This is now this one. Then come here, special pastes, transpose. Okay, you see, now it was on the horizontal ways, but now in the vertical ways, right? So that you can copy these things. You can copy these things. You can go to the SPSS and then come here and paste it. Variables name duplicate on existing variable. Okay, there are gender here, then do it like this. Because there are another gender and I come up with a new variable that's named as gender, which is a kind of duplication. SPSS inform me there is a duplication of name and I need to correct, or I need to give some kind of code on either of those variables that has the same name. I actually replace it, and so that my variables come or copied from Excel sheet to SPSS. What is next? Then next I need to go to Excel sheet. Here, more probably you will insert gender, for example, female, whatever it is. You need to insert the data here, and then now this is a variable name, so that I need to copy the variable name in that approaches. Let's say gender 1 0 1 1 3, no, not 2 0, because gender male and female, right? 1, okay, 1. Like I'm just inserting education, maybe education measured in years. Sometimes you can measure, by the way, education in years, number of years it take to complete one level of education. Maybe, for example, to get a bachelor degree it take 15 years. To complete master degree you need to add 2 more years, 17 years. If you have a PhD degree you have 22 years of education. And for the person number 5, his years of education is only grade 9 year. And for this one it's maybe 11 year. So for this one it is random, for that matter, 5 year. His experience, this one is 5. Let's make, to simplify the data, let's make it like, let's multiply it like this. 6 job type, let's say job type maybe categorical, custodials, managerials. There are some kind of number, let's say. So these are datas. These are data. This is variable name, so that you know how I have copied the variable name. Now I need to copy my datas, and then I need to go to my SPSS. Not here, not in the variable view window. Rather, I need to go to data view window, and then after is very simple. It's a matter of clicking Ctrl plus V, paste it. You see here there are some dots, and that dots actually implies that those data are missing. This is the way you insert data from Excel sheet to SPSS. I hope you understand it. Now let's see outputs viewer window, SPSS output. Now in like data editor window you can see your data, there is no output. But if you execute some order in SPSS, and SPSS result will come in SPSS output viewer window. Let's show you what this output viewer window look like. Graph, for example, legacy dialog, bar graphs, simple bar graph. Now I want to draw a bar graph for gender, so that take gender here. Here is the result. You see there is a kind of graph, it is coming, and if you see there are two windows here. One is here, there are two, look, this is gender in this context. The graph is not like uniformly distributed. That is not our business. And you see this is a graph, and the point is, like, there are two windows. This is data editor window and this is output viewer windows. We have two windows. So that output viewer window is a window that comes after you execute some kind of order in SPSS, and it helps you to see your results or your outputs. I hope it is clear. Okay, let's continue. Now you see this one, this is output viewer windows. Okay, thank you very much. I hope in this video record you understand about the basic information of SPSS, for what reason, for what purpose that we use SPSS. SPSS can do a lot of things. If you want to draw graph, you can use SPSS. If you want to run some kind of regression, you can use SPSS. If you want to summarize descriptive statistics, you can use SPSS, and SPSS can do that things for you. SPSS has two windows. Output viewer window is a window that helps you to see or display output, and data editor window, it is a place where you store your data in SPSS, even enter your data in SPSS. This is all, and in the next video record I'm going to talk about how we can create and modify data in SPSS. Thank you very much for watching my video record. I will continue recording about this one. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.